Other one doesn't want to go live. Oh, it's live. It's live. Cool. So it is finally live. That's wonderful. Good news. Good news. So if anybody can see me, oh, that's actually a beautiful picture. I bought this super expensive setup on another massive screen in front of the other computer with a great Logitech HD 1080p. And wow, the picture is crystal clear. You can even see my stubbles. Way better picture than on the Apple. So I'm pretty impressed. 3 people in there already. That's awesome. I welcome you. Wow. Like the picture. Comment on the picture if you think it's nice and clear. And I look a little bit more tanned in that one. This one I look like pale. Scott is in the house. Chris Hemmingsworth's in the house. Wayne is in the house. He says, how are you? Doing well, my friend, doing well. How are your families doing? How are they holding up? Are they getting restless? On Sunday, was it Sunday or was it Saturday? No, it was Saturday. Went to a great friend, Paul and Marsha. They hosted a great party at the house, just their family and our family. Beautiful outside pool, massive house, gorgeous Spanish villa. And oh, we had the best food, the best wine. It was amazing. Just chill. I actually had way too much wine. Had a little bit of a hangover on Sunday. And then Sunday, all the kids wanted to go surfing. Okay, daddy, we want to go surfing. Surfing in the USA. So yeah, we went surfing. Adrian's in the house. Peace back to you, my brother. Like I said, the big, oh, cool. Jimmy, thank you. Said great picture. Appreciate it. Thanks for that feedback. The first feedback that I got on my other technical setup, Abstract Echo gave me some good feedback. He said it's a great picture. Cool. So then I will be conducting the live feeds with that computer in the future. Now, I do want to show you Tim Stockton. Oh, attorney Potter Handy on the call. There it is. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing fantastic. Happy Monday.
Thank you. You too.
Good, good.
Hey, Torsten, this is Mark Potter.
Yes.
And, did you get my email over the weekend?
I did. I sent you guys an email and just wanted an update. You know what? I'm going to have to call you back because I'm right in the middle of a stream. And obviously these legal things we can't discuss on YouTube. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Hey, will my extension, if I give it to you, will it show up on your stream?
Yeah, come join the stream. Jump in there. Tell the people all about Potter Handy.
I'm going to give you my, I'll text you an extension.
Cool.
I'll text you a number to call me back on.
And by the way, just hold on one second. We're not going to discuss the details of the case, but everyone listening in right now, we're on 2 channels. I'm on the line with potterhandy.com. You guys have seen the link. It's all under all my 8,400 videos out there. Click on through and touch base with these gentlemen, right? They're the best of the best in California. They represent your rights. And go to their form. It is astounding when you start looking at the numbers that they calculate. They have a whole online calculation form, right, that works out what you should be getting, right? Not what they are paying you, but what you should be getting. So sign up, tell the gentleman I sent you, and jump on right over. I'm going to put the link right in the screen right now, potterhandy.com. Gentlemen, I'll call you back. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. So cool. Those are the heavy hitters at Potter Handy. Let me just put it in there. Put the link in there. And he is going to send me a link now as well. They want to discuss the basics. I just want to wring Uber's neck and Lyft's neck. That's it. I just want to squeeze and turn, right? Because what they have done to drivers around the world, what they have done with their legal, they have like Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher in LA representing them. And as I mentioned, I'm coming after Ted Boutros, Thean Evangelos, and Josh Lipschitz. They're three main attorneys. I'm coming after them hard and heavy. I'm not going to tolerate the SHIT. I'm not going to tolerate what they do to drivers, and we're going to expose this law firm, right, worldwide, that they are working against drivers, right? So on the other end of the spectrum, you have a company like Potter Handy that understands what you should be getting, right? Not working against you, representing your rights, fighting for you, and getting you the numbers, as it should be, right? But I made a video the other day. You saw it a few days ago. And I'm not shy. I'm not shy to rumble. I will rumble with law firms. I have no problem exposing those attorneys that represent Uber and Lyft. And they know that. They know that, right? And there is so much. I mean, Gibson Dunn, for example, are involved in 50 of Uber's lawsuits, right? Fighting the battle. And the article that I read to you from Bloomberg Law was showing they're playing the long game. What is the long game? Stalling, 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 hoping to get to the ballot line, hoping to get to the ballot line. And Scott Tucker said, Nevada referral. Potter Handy actually gave me the link to all these class action attorneys. If you go back in my videos, you will see it. This came directly from Potter Handy, helping individuals in other states. They gave me this link. You can go on there. You can nominate your state, nominate your city, search class action attorneys, and reach out to them. So maybe I need to do another follow-up video on that with that link, because we do want to help our brothers and sisters in Nevada. We do want to help our brothers and sisters in Florida, Texas, Massachusetts, Colorado, wherever you are, right? There are attorneys that have your back, that are fighting for you, right? Never forget that. You just have to connect with them. You have to connect with them and let them know how long you have been with the company, how many hours you're putting in weekly, right? And then you can start comparing apples to oranges, and you will be blown away. You will be surprised, right, what you are missing out on, right? So Roger is in the house. I welcome you. Florida, Matt Killian, welcome you. Hopefully you had a great weekend. And Dara Koshashawi, if you are listening in, I welcome you. Do show your face. Don't go silent. Don't go hidden. Actually talk to us. Be brave enough to talk to us, as well as all those other attorneys from Uber and Lyft that check in and have admitted that they watch my videos, right, on the phone with the 415 San Francisco, admitted that they watch my videos. Show your face. Don't hide in the shadows, right? Come out. Play with us here. Right, it's our house Mondays. You are welcome to join and talk to these individuals. John J. DeGravio is in the house. Welcome you. Now, let me jump around here a little bit. We talked about the big elephant in the room. We talked about the PUA ending, the $200 offer by the GOP today on the Monday. My guess is the Democrats are not going to take it, so there'll be a long wrestling match going on in the next days and weeks. Another topic is the Uber stock price. Have you guys noticed how it's come down, right, from 34 something right down to $30.82? My guess is that that whole acquisition of Postmates, people are not really taking it very seriously, right? There was a lot of hype around Grubhub. They didn't get it. They settled for Postmates. Markets didn't really react with too much excitement to Postmates. And now we are down from about $34, within a matter of 10 days, we're down to $30.84. So that trend there, that graph, Look at it. It's going down. See that little point? That's where we are right now. And right now, it's down 1.7% from opening of the bell today. Another 34 cents down to $30.84. So I find that rather interesting. Another topic that I want to briefly cover, these guys just received $100 million during COVID times, which is quite impressive. Jet, you guys know them, G-E-T-T. And by the way, I've had many run-ins with Jet and what's the company that they bought? Juno. They bought Juno for $200 million. They bought all your data. They collected all your data and they did not deliver. Juno never delivered. They literally went out there with a massive promise, took all of that information, took your name, took your email, took your details, packaged it all up, and sold it to Jet for $200 million. But have we seen any follow-up? No. Have we seen any action from Jet or Juno besides a little office opening up in New York? No, nothing. Now, they're doing pretty well overseas. They're concentrating and building relationships with Fortune 500 companies. So they're focusing on businesses and setting up businesses on their platform, just like you have Uber Business. Ola also has a business platform just for corporate companies. And that is where they are apparently doing pretty well. The taxi app, Jet, has raised $100 million, bringing total funding up to $750 million. That's quite impressive. And I'm pretty astounded that they're not having more legal issues over the whole Juno company, the company that really took thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of drivers for a wild ride with zero actions materializing. So Juno was a complete dud. They, like pirates, they took our information, they're using our information. I hope they don't show up on US footsteps. I really don't. I hope the company Jet does not make an appearance here in the United States, because I'm not a happy camper. I'm one of the many people that recruited over 13,000 drivers for Jet. Nothing happened. And I know that Harry recruited. I know that other people recruited for Juno. Nothing happened. Right? So they still owe us a lot of money. And they have your information. God knows what they are doing with your information. Don Whitmer's in the house. Have you heard any driver feedback on setting our own fares on Uber? Yes. Now, San Francisco just allowed that. A lot of the California cities. And I ask myself, why the double standards, right? Why is Uber and Lyft doing this, or more Uber doing this in California, and not allowing Florida drivers, not allowing Texan drivers, et cetera, to set their own rates? Here's the reason why. Because they're obviously fighting that AB5 and they want to show the legal system, hey, we are allowing them to act as independent contractors. They can set their own rates. I had an individual that picked someone up in Orange County, drove them to Riverside, set his rate 2x, got an acceptance, got paid $126. That was his part. So that fare must have been over $200 and something. He was able to set his rates. He sent me the screenshot. I can show it in another video. I can show the proof. So if the demand of rides is semi to high, the drivers are obviously not back full force. Mark my words, August 1, many drivers are going to be returning back to the workplace, right? Let me just see what the attorney texted me here. Cool. This is my cell phone. Look forward to talking to you. Awesome. Okay, I will call Mr. Potter right after the video. And hopefully Mark Potter is in the room checking in with us. and following the stream. Johns J. DeGravio says, hey, Torsten, that unemployment will really hurt part-time workers who have had hours cut back anyways from the pandemic. Let me just follow that. Yeah, I follow you. Sherelle's in the house. Sherelle, you got the photos. We took a great picture of myself, Kevin the entrepreneur, and Sherelle. I think I sent you the photos. You did get them. Jason Ferris is in the house. Can you please flush Dara K? Do you want me to do a symbolic flush? Listen, I hope he's in the room, right? Hiding out here. The answer to that, Jason, is yes, I will do that for you. You know why? Because you kindly asked me, you said, please. I think it's a magic little word, please. Just say, hey, Torsten, flush Dara K. No, that's an order. Can you please flush Dara K? Absolutely, let's do it. So let's show the individuals how we flush. Got to find him first. It's very, very, very easy to find Dara, right? Very, very easy to find Dara. You just follow the smell, right? You follow the smell, you follow the stench. So when I'm like this, where is Dara? Oh, there he is. Oh, hi, Dara. How are you, Dara? Damn. There's Dara. And for you, Jason, for the rest, I give Jason permission to pull the trigger. I will not touch Dara with my own hands, right? I will not touch that turd with my own hands. And here it is. Jason, do the honors. Listen to the sound. Looking down the sewage pipes. Oh, he's re-emerging. Jason, you're going to have to flush again. And he's gone. He's gone. There we go. Good job, Jason. Jason gave him the royal flush. And we have Thomas in the house, my good friend from San Diego, laying down $4.99 with a whole bunch of funny emojis. Good. Man, Thomas, that run that you had for 3 weeks, that was impressive, my friend. That was impressive. That was very much close to $7,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, that you earned in 3 weeks. And then I think you went back to the other job. I thought you were going to do another week and set a monthly record for Excel in San Diego. But man, did he do well. And he is driving around in one beautiful car, my friends. So yeah, the jumping around the room here, I'm reading out the messages. Slick Nick is in the house. We did a royal flush for those who haven't seen what a flush is. It's very satisfying. It's very satisfying. I don't have to touch it. I just drop it in, and then we do the flush. And that sound, that water sound of that turd going down into the sewage pipes, beautiful feeling. Very, very, very satisfying. All right, now I sent I think what I called my, where is it? I sent my top 5 pictures of my trip. Got to find it. We each had to submit our top 5 photos of our recent trip. And I wanted to show you. Got to be here somewhere. I'll find them. You're welcome. You're welcome for flushing, Dara. You're welcome. Oh, cool. Twisted Karma. Tris, got 2 channels running. Thank you for giving me time and hours in the second feed. That's awesome. I actually prefer the quality of that Logitech cam with my new setup. You can't see it in the background, but it's there. Scott says I need just two more legal stuffs to do before launch of my business, bond and insurance. That's beautiful. Move it along. Move the things along. Thomas, San Diego Rideshare Pro. Hit him up, look him up. If you're starting out in San Diego, it's got a great channel. And I don't think there has ever been a time when I haven't seen Thomas, when he's on duty, when he's working, not being in his professional attire. That means his suit, his tie, he goes all out, right? And that's why his tips are through the roof, my friends. So that was the story on Jet. Little update, they got $100 million. And they are competing with Uber for business and the new Ola for business. That's where they're breaking in, and they're really trying to form relationships with Fortune 500 companies. Now, Tesla, our friend Tesla, on the horizon, they basically say that if anyone could threaten the Uber or Lyft platform, it would be Tesla, hailed as autonomous rides leader in threat to Uber and Lyft. That's an article that came out today. A threat to Uber and Lyft with its competitive cost structure and potential to create a recurring revenue business model with software-like margins. Based on our research, Tesla could launch its ride-hailing service at a premium price of $4 per mile. Now, I don't agree with it, but I don't think that they can launch their ride-hailing service at a premium of $4 per mile, slightly more than Uber's average price in New York City, and could lower prices over time to penetrate more price-sensitive markets. I don't quite agree with that, because people at the end of the day are extremely price conscious, right? They look at the pricing. What is Uber charging? What is Lyft charging? Tesla may come out. Tesla's opening up with $4 per mile with the autonomous vehicles. Sadly, we don't get any of that. But $4 seems a little bit steep, Mr. Elon Musk. I would rethink those figures, right? And they say that it could deliver roughly 50% EBITDA margins at premium to Ubers in cities it dominates, and that at global scale and an average of $1 per mile, its addressable market would be roughly $50 billion. While ARK believes that Tesla will be the market leader in autonomous driving, it also thinks a launch of a human-driven ride-hailing network would increase its margins and lower its risks considerably. So let's see what they are up to. And I really wouldn't count out BMW, right? Because BMW have insane technology that's just coming out. So, and they are really hurting Tesla's market. And BMW's been around forever, right? The software that BMW is sitting on is mind-blowing. Got a little bit of a look into that a few weeks ago. Mind-blowing. So although all the hype is on Tesla, I would put my money on BMW all day long. All right, so that's that one. Oh, we're knocking out a lot of... This one here. Know your rights as a rideshare passenger. Allowing a total stranger to take you from place to place is something millions of Americans do each day. Most feel there are laws and regulations in place to protect them, and indeed, there are some laws that protect them in some respects, but there exist other areas where they aren't actually protected by the law. Some of the rights bestowed upon rideshare passengers, however, come not from the law, but from the rideshare company themselves, such as Uber and Lyft. Rights related to the coronavirus, for example. Recently, both major rideshare companies, Uber and Lyft, have made several changes in their rules to protect not only passengers, but drivers as well when it comes to the coronavirus. Both companies now mandate that masks be worn by both drivers and riders. However, the responsibility for enforcing this rule lies with the individual drivers and passengers when they first meet. We know that, right? They meet up for the first time. Are you wearing it? Are you wearing it? They're checking in on each other. I made a video in the other channel the other day. I was picking up a private passenger at a hospital. I saw an Uber pull in. I saw two passengers, both wearing their masks, come out of the hospital. They looked in the window, and I was just 20, 30 feet away, and they say, hey, they pointed at, you're not wearing your mask. You need to wear your mask. I looked in the window. The driver was not wearing the mask, which I found rather strange because you got to check in with Uber and Lyft in order to drive. So maybe he told Uber and Lyft through the app, hey, I'm wearing my mask, and then took it down, right? But the passengers refused to get into his car before the driver put the mask on. The driver then put the mask on, and then they all drove off. Usually, the emails, the text messages that I'm getting, it's the other way around, right? Driver arrives with the mask, fully compliant. Passengers now put up a battle. No, not going to wear it. Some do, some don't. Maybe out of the 4 people, 2 do, 3 are wearing the mask, 1 doesn't. Listen, if out of all 4 passengers, if they don't all wear 4 masks, the trip doesn't take place. That's the rule, right? So these are the sort of the rules Uber and Lyft are putting on the drivers. And if both sides are not playing ball, the trip can't take place, right? Your safety gets compromised. So Uber drivers are asked several times a day to send a photo to Uber showing that they are wearing a mask. If a mask can't be detected in the photo, they are not allowed to sign into the app to receive trip requests. However, we hear from drivers all the time who say they refuse to wear a mask. When the Uber app asks them to take a selfie in a mask, they tell us they put the mask on, take the selfie, and then promptly take the mask off. Was that the case with this driver, this individual that I saw in Orange County? I think it was. But I don't agree with the article that we are the bad guys, we are the evil people that put the mask on for the photo and then we take it down. This article is too one-sided. This article is pro-passenger and anti-driver. Definitely, just the way it's written, right? In reality, this individual writing this article needs to go out there and get into multiple cars, test the system. Just test the system. Try to get a few trips without the mask. Try to get a few trips with the mask. Observe the driver, if they are wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, and then write an article that represents the truth. This article here to me seems very, very slanted. There are other drivers we hear from who do wear masks and believe it's the right thing to do. They complain about riders who refuse to wear masks. Works both ways. The bottom line is they're not both wearing it. The trip ain't taking place. Riders and drivers are required to wear masks. So what you need to know as a rider is that first you have the right to expect and require your driver to wear a mask. If he or she shows up without one, you have the right given to you by Uber and Lyft, not necessarily by law, to ask them to put the mask on. They also have the right to ask you to put the mask on for the same reason you are not wearing one. Works both ways. This can get a little tricky, however, because riders are allowed to rate drivers. Here it comes. drivers are forced to rate riders at the end of each trip before they can accept any new trip requests. If your driver believes in wearing masks and you show up without one, even if you agree to put one on after he requests it, it may annoy him so much that you showed up without one that he'll give you a lower rating when the trip is over. This article is too pro passenger. It really is, right? And low passenger ratings can result in longer wait times to get connected to a driver who accepts your trip requests and longer pickup times. So what they're saying here, they're making a big assumption. They say low passenger ratings can result in longer wait times, to get connected to a driver who accepts your trip request and longer pickup times. My advice to every passenger, right? If you don't want a low rating, don't show up and test the driver without a mask. If the driver says to you, look, the trip's not taking place unless you wear a mask. Okay, I'll put my mask on, right? So the driver is already annoyed with the fact that that person tested him. The driver then rates him low. According to these guys, those low-rated passengers have to wait a longer time. That is an assumption. That is an assumption making a statement or believing that the algorithms work that way. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the bottom line is, listen up, passengers, listen up, riders. If you do not want to piss off a driver, if you do want to get from A to B in time, if you want to be safe on that trip, if you want to have good ratings both ways, show up and wear your effing mask. Very simple. Very simple. Mark Roughton's in the house. Carlos Belmas is in the house. I'm doing good. I had an amazing weekend. Squirrel in the house. Hammer time. Yes, it is, sir. So typically, if you believe in wearing masks in public and a driver shows up without one, if you have time and if you're in an area where there are plenty of other drivers, the best thing to do is simply cancel a trip and call for another driver. So the editor of this article is basically telling passengers, just cancel. Interesting. You may also find yourself in a situation where the driver refuses to put on a mask even after you ask him to. I honestly think that's not the case, right? And they say in that case, I believe you should definitely cancel a ride and find another driver, because even if he does ultimately don the mask, it is highly likely he will give you a bad rating because he will be so annoyed that you forced the issue. In this situation, you should definitely cancel the trip and find another driver. Drivers who refuse to wear masks are violating the rules set out by the rideshare companies they drive for. Uber and Lyft are waiving all cancellation fees for trips that are canceled for this reason. So you will not be charged. After you tap cancel, the app will I will ask you why you canceled, and you give a list of reasons. A driver not wearing a mask is one of the reasons. And if you select that one, you won't be charged a cancellation fee. So people, riders, passengers that want to misuse that platform, right? They cancel. Let's say they've been keeping the guy waiting. They cancel and say, oh, he wasn't wearing a mask. Maybe they never even saw the driver waiting outside for you, waiting. They just decided, hey, we're not ready to go. We're going to cancel. Why did you cancel? He or she wasn't wearing a mask, not even knowing if that is true. So that part of the platform there can really be abused by passengers and riders. That's wrong. There's nothing waterproof. There's nothing foolproof in the system that they've set up, right? It's a couple of values, and hopefully it works out best case scenario. Dennis Torres in the house, Long Beach. I'm going to be down there later this afternoon working on my car. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Down goes Lyft. Dennis says, down goes Lyft. Down goes Uber. I will not be working for them. Who is driving? Not me. Mark Rowden said Uber also sent a message for a partition for $50. Where were these 3 months ago? Where were these partitions 3 months ago? Right? Lyft is saying they're top drivers. They will actually send the partition out for free. But if you don't fit into that category of a driver that's making them the most money, well, guess what? You can buy the partition for $50. It sounds pretty cheap, $50, because if you look at what goes into them, right? I would rather opt for the more expensive ones. They're thick, they're sturdy. I'm a little bit worried if somebody's offering you a $50 partition. That sounds like something that's going to break down in 1 or 2 weeks. Has anyone bought one of those $50 partitions? Sure. Slick Nick says, do black car private drivers charge per mile? Private drivers will look at the estimator of Uber and Lyft what the client will be charged, right? So if you look at Calabasas to LAX, for example, and you're talking about a private driver now, and you look at the Uber and Lyft estimator, which is almost the same in an SUV or black vehicle, could be about $140, $150 charge, right? Then they will adjust that according to that. So maybe the driver turns around, the private driver, and says, I'm not going to charge them $140. I'm going to charge them $120. Here is the big difference, and I want to answer that, Slick Nick. Here's the big difference. On a $140 estimated trip, what the passenger would be paying, you're only getting half of that. You're getting $70, $75. So even if you're discounting the 140 trip and offering it privately for 110, 120, come down 20, right? You are still making $50 more than the $70. So it's a win-win situation. It's a win for the passenger. They're getting a better rate, a better fare. They're not paying 140, they're paying 110 or 120, right? And it's a win for the driver because they're not making 75, they're suddenly making 120. Does that make sense? Wicked Hustle Guy in the house, I welcome you. Hopefully you're doing well. IQ Boy is in the house, welcome you. Reynolds wrap partition for sale, $20. Send me the link. Send me the link. If there's a wrap partition for sale for $20, send me the link. Send me the link. I would like to test it. I will personally buy it and test it. In the other feed, Wicked Hustle Guy says, I think that case is pretty rare. Passengers not wearing the mask. I see it happen all the time. I hear it all the time. But I don't think it's really the driver. I think the driver is not going to take a chance with this mask and say, you know what, I'm going to be the rebel here. I'm going to take the picture before I start driving, and then I take it down. Because if you're taking it down, you are going to face complaint after complaint after complaint from the passenger, and that means your job is gone. You deactivate it. I don't think that drivers are that stupid. So I think the true culprit here, right? The person misusing the mask system is the rider, the passenger. So this article is hogwash, my friends. This is rubbish because it doesn't really reflect sign of the times. It doesn't. What do I have in the kitchen? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I lost you. Well, yeah, I mean, some cars have AC, independent AC in the back, like my Escalade. Some, it doesn't really block it. I mean, the cold air still seeps under the seats. It's basically the line of fire where they can sneeze, cough. That part is covered. But can the air go under the seats along the sides? Yes, the car will always be cold. Not as cold, but it will be cold. And remember, if you're running the AC, you can always ask, hey, how's the temperature in the back? it good for you? Yeah, it's fine. No, it's still a little bit too warm. Okay, I'll crank up the AC. It means it's freezing in the front for the driver and maybe less cool and now comfortable for the rider. It's all about communication. It's all about asking simple questions. How's the temperature for you? Is everything fine? You want the windows down? Blah, blah, blah. I prefer the windows down. Windows should be down. Wicked Hustle Guy says, though on that point, it could depend upon the market. I don't see many Los Angeles drivers not wearing masks, but other markets across the country, maybe. In LA, I got to say, so far, with one exception that I've seen in Orange County, at that Hoag Hospital, Hoag, I've seen every driver, if they were on a trip with people in the back, them in the front driving with a mask, they were wearing their mask, right? So I hope everyone plays ball here. Also, a passenger, you should understand that drivers have a right to insist that you wear a mask as well. If they do and you don't want to wear a mask, the best thing is to find another driver. Whatever you do, however, don't give them a low rating because of this. They are required by the companies they work for to ask all riders to wear a mask. True. Some drivers don't care as much as others and may not ask you to put a mask on, but other drivers do care and will insist on it. They have the right to do that under Uber and Lyft's new coronavirus regulations. And I would hope that the driver does insist on a mask. I really do, because I'm here making videos, talking about safety, talking about health. That is important to me. Your health, your safety. So you, the driver, I would hope, rideshare professor would hope that you, the driver, insist on the mask. And don't just like, okay, well, he's not wearing a mask. Let's not get into a pissing match here. Let's not get into a rating warfare. Let me just let it go and let him not wear a mask because he doesn't want to wear a mask. No, set the boundaries, set the standards. You have a right to a sanitized vehicle, right? So again, you, the passenger, have a right to a sanitized vehicle. I think it goes without saying that the drivers, just to protect their own lives, their own livelihood, to protect their own safety, keep their car sanitized at all times. Why? Because it is very possible that 15 to 30 people went through your car per day. Are you going to stop, wipe it down every time? I bet you do, right? So as a rideshare customer during the year of COVID-19, you also have the right to a sanitized passenger area, namely the back seat. However, this right comes with a little twist. Uber is no longer asking drivers to sanitize the back seat, but rather they are now asking riders to do it. It is now up to you and your fellow riders to keep the back seat sanitized. However, before you go ballistic reading this, there is an upside. First, Uber has partnered with Clorox, which will be distributing hundreds of thousands of canisters, which will be distributing. Remember that I've heard this language 2-3 months. Well, we will be distributing PPE. You will be getting gloves. You will be getting masks. Now you will be getting Clorox. Who's received Clorox? Let me ask the question here. Who has received Clorox from Uber or the company? My guess is no one, right? Which will be distributing hundreds of thousands of canisters of the company's cleaning wipes to drivers. When you hail an Uber, you'll get a message notifying you that the driver has wipes on hand, and it will recommend that you clean the seats, doors, handles, etc. before the trip begins as well as when it ends. So just before you get out, they are asking you to clean anything you touch during the trip. So just before you get out, right? I'm going to ask this question in all honesty. They get out, maybe they don't decide to clean up the seats and the handles. Maybe they do a quick, sloppy job. Maybe they don't even do it at all, right? You can't maybe, you may have not observed if they've cleaned, right? You think they've cleaned, but let's say, always assume they have not cleaned. after every single trip, hopefully they've done their job and they've cleaned thoroughly, seat belts, handles, seats, etc. Hopefully they've done that, right? But don't assume they did. So when you pull over and you stop that trip before you take the next one, that's when I get out, and I do this between private trips. I clean that sucker down. I spray the carpets, I spray the seats, I wipe them down, all the handles, the seat belts, and I tell my next client, by the way, here's a checklist. I have done all of this, right? And you can still, beyond my checklist, beyond me doing this, this, and this, and this for you, you can still, I have cleaning materials, lots of them. Cleaning gels, cleaning sprays, wipes, etc., etc. You can still do your own clean if you wish. But please take my word for it. I've done my job thoroughly. Now we're in the Uber and Lyft game. I think it's a little different. Right? I think it's a little different. I would not rely on the fact that he or she cleaned down your car parts, your handles, your this, your that, your that. How do you feel about that? So they said, however, before you go ballistic reading this, there is an upside. First, Uber has partnered with Clorox, which will be distributing hundreds of thousands of canisters of the company's cleaning wipes to drivers. I want to see that. When you hail an Uber, you'll get a message notifying you that the driver has wipes on hand, and it will recommend that you clean the seats, doors, handles, etc. before the trip begins, as well as when it ends. So just before you get out, they're asking you to clean anything you touch during the trip. And by Uber and Lyft putting all of these laws in place, they can always turn around one day and say, you know what? We told them to do that. We're not liable. Your Honor, we set down the regulations. We told them what to do. They may have lied to us in the photo. They may have lied to us in the submission of the data when they click those different boxes. We're not liable. So they're off the hook. Their hands are clean. It's an interesting one, IQ boy, what Uber and Lyft are going to do when the PUA is over. What are they going to do? Are they going to think that they suddenly can take advantage of drivers because they will be coming back? And I don't think all will be coming back. I think a lot of those drivers have moved on to other jobs. I really do. Sherelle says, I was going to use a shower curtain liner petition, even bought it, but my sister insisted that I not drive at all. I have to help her weekly. Cool, good sister. I get my merchandise from Home Depot, my cleaning disinfectant spray. In fact, luckily in the beginning, I bought lots and lots of those big cans, and they go a long way. Isn't Clorox bleach? I do think Clorox makes a bleach product, but I also think they make disinfectants. Yes, this is annoying, I know, but after thinking about it, it makes sense. It's the only way that you, the passenger, can know for sure that the car you're riding in has been sanitized. If Uber required the drivers to do this, riders would have no way of knowing if they actually had. When it comes to matters of life and death, it's always safer for a person to take responsibility for their own protection. I agree, it works both ways. It's like parachuting. When you learn to parachute, you're taught that ultimately you will pack your own chute. Only by packing it yourself can you be absolutely certain that it was done correctly. No one is going to care as much about protecting your life as you. So similar to parachuting, sanitizing the area in the car where you will sit is the best way to ensure that it has actually been sanitized. You have the right to a safe trip. Uber and Lyft riders can rightfully expect a safe trip conducted by a safe driver. If there are any safety problems at all during your trip, up to and including an accident, you can and should report those to the rideshare company. If you are involved in an accident, you are injured, you also have the right to be covered by the drivers and Uber or Lyft's insurance policies. All drivers are required to have the proper insurance, and Uber and Lyft have policies as well that will cover you while you're on the ride with other drivers. You have the right not to be discriminated against. Uber and Lyft's company policies prohibit any form of discrimination, as do the laws of the United States, the respective states and cities and localities as well. Drivers are not allowed to discriminate against riders for any reason. If you suffer from discrimination, for instance, if a driver refuses to pick you up on account of your race, your gender, or any other reason like that, you should report it to Uber or Lyft at once. Works both ways, my friends, works both ways. So, my next topic. My next topic here is Uber kicks off final appeal against major UK ruling on drivers' employment rights. And by the way, that happens, and they're 9 hours ahead. That happens on Tuesday. 2 days of hearings. Going to be very, very, very interesting whether the drivers are going to win in the UK or whether the companies get their way. I'm putting my money on the drivers. I really am. Uber kicks off a last-ditch attempt to appeal the landmark employment right case in a 2-day hearing at the Supreme Court on Tuesday. And that is the Supreme Court in the UK, not in the United States. The claimants in this case want drivers to be treated as workers entitled to employment protections, such as a minimum wage and holiday pay. Another loss for Uber would threaten to jeopardize the company's business model and have significant ramifications for the gig economy. So, come Tuesday morning, they're 9 hours ahead. Let's say 48 hours later, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be a decision. Watch Uber stock. Watch Uber stock on Wednesday. Either uptick or massive downtick because of this landmark case. Michael says the last $600 payment coming on the first week of August. No, the last payment was a few days ago. Right? It's very misleading. So the last payment, I believe, was on Saturday. Program ends of July the 31st, but they usually pay out on the last Saturday. So I don't think we're getting this one. I could be wrong. I don't think we're going to get this one extra bonus week. He says, trust me on this. It's August the 3rd. It's not what I heard. It's not what I heard. Uber is taking its fight against a UK ruling that its drivers should be classified as workers to the country's highest court. The ride-sharing giant will kick off a last-ditch attempt to appeal the landmark employment rights case in a 2-day hearing at the Supreme Court on Tuesday, tomorrow. The legal battle began back in 2016 when an employment tribunal ruled in favor of a group of Uber drivers led by Yassin Aslam and James Farrar. Good for them. And they are obviously helping us move the cause forward. So I applaud Yassin Aslam and James Farrar. I want to give you guys a shout out. We're behind you. At least I'm behind you. The claimants want drivers to be treated as workers entitled to employment protections such as minimum wage and holiday pay. At least push for that, right? At least push for that. Doesn't mean I'm not a candidate who wants to become an employee, but I am all for pushing and asking for more so that if we do settle, we're somewhere in the middle and we come out better than we did before, right? And I always call this, and I've actually brought this up with the Attorney General here in LA, with the deputy as well. I've said, you guys need a gig hybrid law. Stop being selfish on the one side. Stop them being selfish on the other side. You guys will never have a meeting of the minds. You need to come up with a new law. I said that straight up to the Deputy Attorney General. You guys, he said, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Dennis is 100% correct when he says Uber is really in panic mode about the UK. If the drivers win, maybe America is going to copy. The shit's going to hit the roof. There's a lot of crap flying into the fan. It's going to go spatter, 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 spatter. There's going to be a lot of this hitting the fan soon. A lot of this, my friends. A lot of this hitting the fan soon. So are they stressed out today? Yes, they are. Is Tony West stressed out today? He ain't going to sleep tonight because he's looking, what's going to happen in the UK tomorrow? Maybe he flew over. Maybe he's there. Or maybe he's directing his legal goons in the UK to do the best job. Just like he's directing his legal goons, Gibson Dunn. And by the way, my friends, you guys have to hammer this company. The number one public enemy that I've branded, right, is this. Please tweet whatever you can, Gibson, Dunn, and Crutcher in LA on my home turf, right? Say, write something. Oh, this law firm is screwing over drivers. Go to Twitter, go to Facebook, but there it is. Those are the evil monsters right there. Those are the people who are involved in 50 lawsuits against us. Uber is in 50 different lawsuits against drivers. Those guys there. And then the main guy, look him up. He looks like oh my God, I'll show you the picture. This guy here, he looks like a pregnant squirrel. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Here he is. You know what his name is? That's him. That's our public enemy number one, Ted Boutros. Hammer him. Go on to Twitter, find Gibson Dunn, at Gibson Dunn, or hashtag Gibson Dunn. And this year, if there ever was a Dr. Evil, their game plan is to prolong, not let us get to the finishing line, right? All these Uber marathon driver runners, all these Uber Eats runners trying to get to the marathon line. He's extending that marathon line by a mile each day, so we can never get to the point. He's using evil legal tactics. This piece of shite. This guy here. Dr. Squirrel. Dr. Evil Squirrel, right? And Josh Lipschutz, which I call Lipschitz, and Thean Evangelis. This guy here. Look at this squirrel. Enemy numero uno for drivers. Shame on you, dude. Shame on you for screwing over and even during the pandemic, not letting us get our package, our rights. This guy prolonging, keeping us away during these times. Can you imagine how much bad karma this guy must be collecting? This guy here. Can you just imagine how much bad karma this guy must be collecting? Scum of the earth. Scum of the earth, working together with Uber and Lyft, taking Uber and Lyft's money to screw over decent human beings, essential workers that are trying to get paid, that are trying to get to their money. And he continuously shifts the goal line, the marathon finishing line. Nope, you're not going to get there. Nope, you're not going to get there. Not. And he's playing a legal game, the stalling tactic. They call it the long game. Shame on you, Ted Boutros. You have so much bad karma on your back, on Gibson, Dunn, and Crutcher's back, on Thean Evangelis's back, on John Lipschutz, aka John Lipschitz, back, right? That you can't even handle the weight of all the crap, the karma crap that you have. In fact, you know what? He deserves a royal flush. Ted Boutros, that's you, buddy. That's your law firm. All the people working against us with Uber and Lyft, right? Enemy turd number one. Adios, muchachos. Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu. Goodbye. I'm systematically flashing all of those attorneys at Gibson, Dunn and Pitcher down. There we go. That's it. That's what I think of Ted Boutros, Gibson Dunn, and the attorneys that are screwing over drivers. Anthony Bray is in the house. Good to see you. Nelson Elias is in the house. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully your families are staying safe. And may you have an amazing week, everyone. May you have a fantastic week. So we're about a 1 hour, 15 minutes. I'm going to finish this topic, maybe 1 or 2 more topics, and then I got to really rock and roll. And anybody that wants to, sayonara, exactly. Sayonara, arrivederci. Oh, cool. Is Ruben's finishing up on your Buick? Awesome. Take a dump. Adios. Yes, exactly. Ted Boutros just took a dump. Now, the legal battle began in 2016. We're back to the UK story when an employment tribunal ruled in favor of a group of Uber drivers led by Yassine and James. The claimants want drivers to be treated as workers entitled to employment protections such as minimum wage and holiday pay. Each of the country's lower courts, mostly recently the UK's Court of Appeal, have sided with the drivers in the case. And I don't see why the Supreme Court should not also side with the drivers. So is Derek Kay stressed? Yes, right. Is Tony West stressed? Yes, they are. They won't be able to sleep tonight. Another loss for Uber would threaten to jeopardize the company's business model. Uber maintains that its drivers should be treated as self-employed, similar to how many private hire drivers are classified rather than employees. Now, Uber maintains that drivers should be treated as self-employed. Okay, let's say we are self-employed, true self-employed drivers. Then my brothers and sisters in Florida should be able to set their rates. Then my friends in Texas should be able to set their rates. Then my friends in Denver, Colorado should be able to set the rates. Then my friends in Albuquerque, New Mexico should be able to set the rates. Then my friends in Vermont, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, wherever you are, Mississippi, New Orleans, should all be able to set their rates, right? If we are apparently self-employed, Mr. Uber Derek Kay, why are you not allowing those drivers to set their rates? Because that's what an independent contractor does. So you're lying. The vast majority of drivers want to work independently. True, and over a number of years have made significant and we've made significant changes to our app to offer total flexibility. That is the biggest lie. Jamie Hayward, Uber's regional general manager for Northern and Eastern Europe, that is the biggest lie, right? That we have the benefits and total flexibility. I don't see the guys in Houston, Texas have total flexibility. I don't see the guys in San Antonio, Austin, or Dallas, Texas have total flexibility, right? I don't see the people in St. George or Salt Lake City, Utah have absolutely all the benefits and the total flexibility. You are lying through your teeth, Jamie Hayward. Shame on you, and karma will certainly take care of you. In fact, I will also flush Jamie Hayward for blatantly lying. Jamie Hayward, there you go. Adios. We have flushed a lot of people. I've flushed more people in this stream than any other stream. Wicked Hustle Guy says, I really like setting my own multiplier. Very cool, good info. I don't appreciate Uber constantly informing me that I might be missing out on the ride. I wouldn't say I'm missing them. I like that. That's good feedback. Michael says, hashtag don't return to drive. Don't return to drive. COVID Dara 19. Mighty Heidi Dream Warrior, that's a cool name, says, Hiya Sherelle, she's giving you a shout out. Good to have you. Hope you and your family are doing safe. Anthony Bray says, are Uber and Lyft drivers going to get temperature check monitors for passengers? will we be doctors too? Now, Anthony Bray, I like that idea. I would rather be, if I'm a driver, I would prefer them to send us a temperature gun, right? And you got your glove, you hand it over, take your temperature. I don't know how they take the temperature with a gun, right? Just don't pull the trigger and shoot yourself, but take the temperature and show me, So I wouldn't have no problem playing doctor if they sent me a temperature gun, because at least then I know what I have in my car. If this guy's off the charts, I don't know what's super, super high, 100 and something, I'm like, hang on, a little bit too high. Down the hatch. The vast majority of drivers want to work independently, and over a number of years, we've made significant changes to our app to offer more benefits with total flexibility. You are lying, Jamie Hayward. Drivers can determine if and when and where they drive, but can also access free AXA insurance to cover sickness or injury, as well as maternity and paternity payments. That is also a lie, because drivers cannot determine if, when, and where they drive. Where they drive, the destination, is not a given factor to most of the states. In fact, not to 49 states. That is only information that Californians are privileged to. So that is, again, a fat, concocted lie. Right? So we got to hold them responsible, because as they make these statements, many people and riders read this and believe, oh, yeah, yes, Uber's right, correct, yes. No, we have to fact check them. We have to fact check them every single time they send one of their spokesmen or spokeswoman out there. And again, this is not accurate information given by Uber. Lead claimant Aslam, who is also president of the App Drivers and Couriers Union, ADCU, said a loss would result in the trade union's regulator revoking the ADCO's listing, since a union is required by law to be made up wholly or mainly of workers. This is our final showdown with Uber, but the stakes could not be higher for everyone. If Uber wins, there will be an unseemly rush by greedy employers to collapse employment as we know it and Uber-size the entire economy. Uber drivers and other gig economy workers would be robbed of the rights to unionize. Gig economy, the case could have significant ramifications for the gig economy if Uber loses. The gig economy model encourages flexible work arrangements that has been criticized for putting workers in precarious employment situations, especially during the coronavirus pandemic. Other companies in the space include Deliveroo and Airbnb. Farah and Aslam are being presented by solicitors Paul Jennings and Rachel Mattison of London-based law firm Bates and Wells. Good luck to them. Good luck to the attorneys who are arguing their points tomorrow. Good luck to those drivers. I at least support you. I hope you support them. What do you think the outcome will be? Remember, it's 2 days of hearings in the UK Supreme Court. Then they decide. What do you say? I say 80%, 80 to 20, 80% the drivers will win. There's a 20% chance that they would not win this case. They've already won in appeals. They've already won in the lower courts. Why should they not win in the Supreme Court? Your thoughts. Give me a percentage, for and against. Do you believe it's a 50-50? Do you believe it's 40% in their favor? I say it's 80% in their favor that they could bring a victory here, a huge victory, and force Uber to their knees. Why? Because they have been relentless in their attack since 2016, all the way up to 2020. They have not let go. Right? These guys have gone for the jugular. These guys have Uber and Lyft on their knees, and the big day is Wednesday. This Wednesday, the UK Supreme Court will decide in their favor or in our favor. Anthony Bray says, I am setting up my own private driving service, becoming a true independent driver. Listen, if I had a bottle of champagne here, I would pop it right now and celebrate that decision. That's amazing. And if you guys ever want to learn the ins and outs, I do share that at Rideshare Driving School. And then I do have a 30-minute conversation. Sometimes it's 45 minutes, sometimes it's 60 minutes after you've signed up. And then we go over all the factors, right? And I would highly suggest you start with one vehicle, that you become your own first independent, true private driver. And then you can add further vehicles. And then you can recruit other drivers under your umbrella, under your insurance, under your portfolio. So It's Smooth says, I say 90% in favor of the drivers. Great. I love your optimism. That's good. So you got 90-10. Good. That's a realistic number. I put out the 80% chance that the drivers will win, 20% chance that Uber wins. It's Smooth says 90-10. Slick Nick says, I need my wage claims settled. Then I can set up my own private driver service and upgrade to Lincoln MKZ Hybrid Reserve. Good. At least you have a game plan, right? You're already eyeing that date. You're waiting for that payment, and then you're going to transition. Good for you. I like it. A man with a plan, or a woman with a plan. Right, Laura?
Yes.
Laura says yes. She's behind you. Andy Booth, may I ask, are we employees now? No, we're not. We're not employees. We're far from being employees. I don't think we will ever become employees. I still maintain, I've been saying this since they started this, that we will be a hybrid, something between an independent contractor and a real employee. They will not make us full-on, true 100% employees. But to answer your questions, no. Nobody, no driver is an employee yet. The only employees are the people that Uber and Lyft employ at the hubs, employ at the headquarters, that work for them in admin, HR, marketing, etc. Those are employees. We are not regarded as employees. We are apparently independent contractors, but we're not. Michael says we are slaves. Dude, I would never say that about myself. I would never say we are slaves, right? Because you're taking on that energy. You're branding yourself as a slave. So get rid of that type of thinking. Remove yourself from that thought process. We're not slaves, right? We're fully competent individuals fighting for the best we can, for the best outcome. But we are definitely not slaves. Slavery ended, thank God, a long time ago, and that all of that was definitely brought to the forefront through the whole BLM, through the Black Lives Matter movement again. But I would not ever choose those type of words, because you're not a slave to the rhythm. If you truly believe you are a slave, then you've got to rid yourself from the shackles and go elsewhere. Plan B, plan C, plan D, look for another job. Never, ever work for a company or for an employer where you feel like you are enslaved. Got to break free, right? So please don't take that title on. Trish says you are only a slave if you want to be. 100% correct. Roy Watkins in the house. Viva Las Vegas. How are you, Vegas? Well, must be at least 100 in Vegas today. But Michael, that's a different thing. Any false claim, as you say, you are F-U-C-K-E-D. You're right. And it did happen to Dustin, and it happened to many other people. But that's on them, right? It still doesn't make you a slave if you got a false deactivation. The definition of if you're using that word slave, right, in today's times, in saying you're a slave to Uber, that means you're doing something against your will, working for them, not getting paid enough, and not, and are not willing to leave. You have a free passport to leave Uber right now if you want it. Roy Watka says 105 degrees. Wow. My Escalade, which is platinum class, I use the highest one. I don't just use regular gas. I use 91. So that's the most expensive gas, but it's good for that engine. I would never put a lower grade gas in any high performance car or V8, maybe a V6, but definitely not a V8 or a V12. Now I understand you, Michael. You say by slave, I mean we can't fight them, we will always lose. I understand you. I understand where you're coming from. Q-Boy says, I'm a slave to my family. Well, how do they treat you like a slave, IQ-Boy? Wicked Hustle Guy says, slaves are the current private jail system. That is slavery. You want to talk about no controlling your future. Stuck on a bit of a sad topic, but you know, you have to talk about it. Michael, you're welcome. Michael, I'm 100% behind you. I understand where you're coming from, and you have my full support. Abstract Echo is just sharing some great news with us. Again, we should have a bottle of champagne. I just got word that I passed my stage 3 certified dog trainer's exam. Whoop, whoop. Awesome. I am super excited for you. That's great. I remember you talking about it. Look, there's three little points here, right? You talk about it, you have the idea, you start the idea, you're actually doing it right now. You're doing the training, the exam, and you complete. Completion is where it's all about. And Jimmy has just shared with us that final stage, completion. He's got it. Got your certification. So now you can call upon all the greyhounds, the boxers, the Alsatians, the poodles, the spaniels in the world. Obviously, you have to connect with their owners, and they need to bring them down for training to Jimmy. Happy for you. Congratulations. Way to go, Jimmy, says Mark Roughton. Wicked Hustle Guy says congrats. Nelson Elliott says, is it okay to start your own independent service while still driving to Uber? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And if you're smart, you recruit your good clients away from Uber and Lyft. You know who those clients are. If you've ever had an amazing experience in a car with a passenger, you just get on, you just click, you gel from the moment they get in. You know what, by the way, I really enjoyed the trip. Thank you for driving with me. Here's my business card. Because you know he feels the same way or she feels the same way about you. They will transition and become your own client. So think along those lines. And to answer your question, yes, start yesterday, Nelson. Start yesterday. Oh, it's Moose says there was a mention of not being able to train a cat. I said that. I said you're not able to train a cat. I was proven wrong. Laura said not true. Cats can be trained. And then I found out that cats can indeed be trained. So I was wrong. I own that. I was the person who said cats cannot be trained. So thank you for calling me out. Good one. Right, Laura?
Yeah, cats are awesome.
She loves cats. I could say something now, but it would be extremely dirty, so I'm going to not say it. But she likes cats. I like the big cats, the big ones, the big furry lions, leopards, jaguars, panthers, cheetahs, maybe even bobcats. I'm not a big fan of the little tubby cat or the little house cat. Definitely not a fan of Siamese cats. Many reasons why. She always laughs. That's her favorite. That's Laura's favorite is a Siamese. Not my favorite, that's for sure. But okay, we all have our favorite dogs and cats, right? But I could name you 10 of my favorite dogs. No problem. I'm a dog guy. As Dylan would do on our trip, remember?
Oh, gosh.
When they saw cows on the meadow, it would drive us crazy. They would start barking. And we'd always say, why are you barking? Those are cows. They'd go, I don't know. Kids are weird. Kids are funny. Kids are weird. So to end this article in the UK, gig economy, the case could have significant ramifications for the gig economy if Uber loses. And all I can say is thank you, and thank you again to those 2 UK drivers who started that movement in 2016, because indirectly they are helping us, right? Indirectly they are exposing Uber and Lyft. Indirectly they are penetrating and getting inside of those algorithms and helping drivers worldwide. So bless them for 4 years, four times 365 days, hanging in there, battling. Good for them. $250,000. No. Mark Rowden says, Torsten, how much money do I need to start my private service? And Michael says $250,000. No. You don't need $250,000. You don't need 250,000, unless that's an answer. You would need $35,000 to start your own. That means get your first car at the right price, pay up front 1 year of limo insurance, private insurance, a little bit of money set aside for your marketing, and another about $1,500 set aside for your licenses with your state. So Michael says, damn, I was off. Yeah, you were off by $215,000, Mr. Michael. But that's okay. Now, $250,000, you've got 8 to 10 cars in your fleet, 8 to 10 drivers driving for you. Let's do some math on that. Leasing the vehicle out at $500 minimum per week, $2,000, and you have 8 drivers driving for you, $16,000 a week, times 4, $64,000 a month generated income, right? Let me make sure that I got the math right here. No, didn't get the math right. 16,000 per month times 10, 160 plus 32, $192,000 coming in year one if you have 8 to 10 drivers driving for you, and that's with $250,000 investment. So your break-even point, according to my math, should be after 15 months, and that is the formula. The break-even point for limo companies is after 15 months. That means all your cars are paid for, all the insurance is paid for, all the mechanics, all the repairs are paid for, and now you're starting to make money. It's a great business model, great return of investment. Mark Rowden says, I already have a vehicle. Good. And you need the licensing now, and you need to upgrade your insurance. Roy Watka says, I'm now doing Hotshot and doing great money. Got to share that email with me on Hotshot. Everybody, what's Hotshot? What's Hotshot? Michael would love to. So we covered this. Now, I always admire people that are starting up companies, right? And seeing that I have a platform, seeing that we have a following, we give this new company, Titus Adventure Company, we give them a shout out, right? Because they're just starting off and they want to be branded as Colorado Entrepreneur Offers Uber for Overlanders. They want to be branded as Uber for Overlanders. So we are giving them a shout out. They're in Denver, Colorado, this new startup company. The Colorado business is offering short-term rentals of fully outfitted overlanding vehicles for visitors and locals who want to go off-road camping with all the toys, including bikes. Sign me up. Sign me up. So maybe Colorado, maybe Laura, the kids are on board, but maybe we will be looking at Titus Adventure Company in the future. They rent Toyota 4x4s, set up with Kuat bike racks, bike tools, pump park tools, and camping equipment, including a rooftop tent and cooking gear. I like it. Rough it up in the wild. The company can coordinate bike rentals, or visitors can work with a local bike shop to ship bikes to Colorado ahead of time, and TAC will have them waiting for them. TAC can deliver the vehicles to Denver's airport, so visitors can start their adventure immediately. Daily rental rates start at $210. So if you like looking at a 5-day adventure, hardcore, Colorado, $1,000, I think that's very, very fair. Nathan, and there's a donate button right there. I appreciate it. Should be down at the bottom. Thank you. And while the Burley vehicles TAC offers Toyota Tacoma, 4Runner, and Sequoia 4x4s are far from the greenest machines on the road, the company says its business actually benefits the environment. That's because TAC buys carbon credits to offset the impact of each trip. And the service could encourage some Colorado residents to avoid buying a large vehicle for everyday use and instead rent a TAC vehicle for occasional adventures. Now, who is the person behind it? They don't give any name, but the website, I'm going to mention them, tacrentals.com, and I wish you guys well. I hope your company succeeds. You got a shout out from us. I came across this article, and you guys know me. I pick and choose these startup companies from time to time. I got this article from the bicycle retailer, and they want to call themselves the Uber for overlanders. The very best of luck to TAC. Good. Done. Last topic, or maybe second last topic again. Remember PUA. Apparently the last payday was this past Saturday. It officially ends July the 31st. Come August the 1st, will Uber and Lyft see a spike in drivers returning back to the market? I think that there will be many, many press releases by Uber and Lyft, paid press releases, part of their PR company. Mark my words, they will be pushing. So if you Google August the 1st or August the 2nd, you will find many articles, many PR articles, probably written by them, urging drivers to go back. And I'll tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be fear-based marketing. They're basically going to say, now that the money is gone, what are drivers going to do? They have to go back. But watch that. Watch that happen on August the 2nd. They will use fear-based marketing to try and push those drivers back into the marketplace. Just mark my words. Tris, it's very nice of you. Oh, Nathan, thank you. Rob Neck is my good friend. I think I know Rob Neck. Yeah. Good. Tell him we said hi. Appreciate that. So Uber pushes its contact tracing to health departments. This is a video I made the other day where they are cooperating with health officials in 29 different countries, giving them information about possible riders or drivers that came into contact with COVID-19 through contact tracing. The question that I had a week ago, why isn't Uber and Lyft sharing that data with us, right? Because if somebody apparently was in our car that could have had COVID-19, why are they only sharing that with health officials? Wouldn't they want to alarm us and say, hang on, very, very possible that you had a COVID-19 person in your car, you need to quarantine. I think I did ban Robnik. I think, yeah, that name sounds, yeah, because he got a little bit out of control. So I'm happy he's your friend, but as far as I'm concerned, I do remember the name, and if I banned him, Tris, thank you. She says, Nathan like this, throws $5 out there. Thank you so much, Tris. That's awesome. It takes a lot for me to ban someone from my channel. I usually give the people a lot of leeway, but they got to really when the community says flush, 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 that's really when I hear. So it's usually a community decision. If Rob Neck was flushed, it was a community decision, and usually it'll take 5 to 10 people to say flush, 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 flush. Just like Dustin would go, whoosh, 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 smack him down. I just flush. Company officials say Uber designed a website where government health agencies can easily search its records. Contact tracers can use the information to try to find people who may have come into contact with an infected individual. I'm just wondering why we, the driver, are left out of that equation. I really am. But thanks, Nathan. Even the thought. Nelson Elias, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You know, that makes you feel good. You're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, you're exposing these people, you're doing the research, and a donation to me means the world. It says, keep it up. Thank you, Tris. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And we will keep on putting on the gloves, and we will keep on jumping into that boxing ring and fighting 12 rounds if they want. We'll fight 15 rounds. We'll fight 100 rounds. We ain't going to surrender, folks. Right? That's what my channel is all about. No surrender. With Uber and Lyft, at some point down the line, drivers will do better. Drivers will get paid more. Why? Because we have been relentlessly chipping away with them. I call it death by 1,000 cuts. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Expose, whoosh, expose, whoosh. Take to court, whoosh. Take to UK Supreme Court, whoosh, 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 whoosh. All day long. Gibson Dunn, you're on my shit list. Ted Boutros, you're on my shit list. Josh Lipschitz, you're on my shit list. Thean Evangelis, you're on my shit list. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Michael L, do you have ads? Yeah, look, with Uber, with a platform, I have 8 YouTube platforms. 3 of them are monetized. The 4th is almost monetized. I allow ads to be run through the platform, right? That's how you make money, right? You get money. It's not crazy money. Like if you're doing a gaming channel, they don't pay as well as they used to. Top earner is actually an 8-year-old who has a toy review channel making almost $20 million a year. My real estate channel is paying good advertising fees. Uber and Lyft, I tell you what, the numbers have come down because the advertisers can see these companies are not really rocking and rolling. Insurances, there's not many insurance signups. There's not many peripheral services that we can sell to rideshare drivers or to gig workers because that economy ain't doing so well during COVID. So the amount of dollars that marketers or advertisers are spending in this space of gig workers, riders, etc., right, is less. You know, who's maybe spending more? Maybe Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub. The companies that are doing fairly well seem to be spending more. Right? I bet you a guy like Jeff Bezos pours a lot of money into Google Ads, AdSense, YouTube ads, etc., etc. Why? Because while the money is flowing, pump it in the system and recruit more and more. Snowball it, right? Michael says, we need links. We need links. Send me a link. Send me a link. Torsten says, start a podcast. Good one. I've been asked to start a podcast. To be honest, Nelson, I've met with a couple of good podcasters. I have to learn more about it until I feel confident to jump into that arena. But thank you for pushing me again, Nelson, in that direction. I will spend a little bit more time looking it up today. But even on the weekend, the guys, you need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast, right? I will also be doing a live feed with a very, very, very famous psychiatrist who, I mean, he will tell you who his clients are, right? And he's agreed to do a live feed with me. He just started his own podcast. I'm not going to reveal his name because it's going to be a nice big surprise. It's going to be an interesting character. And we're going to bounce a lot of questions back and forth. Nathan says Rob Neck for president. Where is Rob Neck? Tell us about Rob Neck, Nathan. How old is he? What qualifications does he have? What city is he in? When you say Rob Neck for president, you obviously look at his qualities and say, hey, he's fit enough to be president. Who is he? Right? I am born in Washington, D.C. So where am I from? Where was I born? United States of America. Where have I lived? Many countries. Reuters news agency examined coronavirus contact tracing policies in 32 states and local health departments. It found that most of them did not request data from ride-sharing companies. Unlike many other countries, the United States has no national program to identify the contacts of people with coronavirus infections. The World Health Organization has called such an effort critical in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Countries that spend thank you, Nathan. I appreciate you, brother. Countries that spend money on contact tracing, right? And I get this directly from a very reliable source who's a top dog in that industry, works for the top testing company in Germany with 98% accuracy. His name is Professor Dr. Veronik Broschek, right? And he said, Torsten, contact tracing, going back for 2 weeks. Who did this person come into contact with? By knowing who they met with, by knowing which parties they went to, by knowing maybe which bar they walked into, by knowing which car they got into, we can really slow the sucker down because we can spend the money and reach out to these individuals and say, hey, it's very, very possible that you had ABC in your car. Now, my question on the heels of this article is, why isn't Uber and Lyft communicating that information with us? That we possibly had person A, B, and C in our car, right? Symptomatic, asymptomatic, doesn't matter. They potentially could have been in our car. Teddy T in the house says, hello, Teddy T in the house, Philadelphia. How are you doing, sir? I'm doing great, man. My Monday is off to an awesome start, and I had a super weekend. I really did. Got a lot done. Got a lot of family time in there. Got a lot of adult time. You know, having a great dinner with 2 other adults. You know, you need adult time. Can't just be on top of each other all the time. Like, you know, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, all the time, 24/7. You need to be able to connect with other adults. Felt great. Michael says, Torsten is a German, South African, DC native. Dude, you hit it on the net. You hit it on the head. You hit the nail on the head. I got the Euro in me. I got the Africa in me, and I got the America in me. Maybe American, African, Euro. Who cares? I'll take those titles all day long because every single one of those countries or continents that I lived on gave me something. And I had good times, man. I can truly say, if I had to pass away tomorrow, I've lived. I've lived a full, good life. There's no regrets. I've got kids. Pretty much did everything that I wanted to do up to now, right? So no regrets. So I will carry that title proudly. American, African, Euro. Euro, African, American. African, Euro, American. Whatever it is. And then don't forget the lions. Exactly. I wanted to. Brad Lenny, I hear you. Said you're on. It says I see you're on the live stream. He's in Denver. I'll connect with you, Brad. Thank you. Got your text. Good. Gosh, I had, maybe I think it's on my Facebook page, but I did want to show you my, by the way, I love photography. You did not know that. That's my friend, the South African fighter. Watch him. He's Chris van Heerden. He is here in the United States from South Africa, a good buddy. And he is literally the only person that he's lost to. And Errol Spence said that that was his toughest opponent by far. Watch this guy. Just if anybody likes boxing, follow this guy, Chris van Heerden. It's going to go all the way. He now lives in Santa Monica. Good friend. Let me see. I got to find. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. I gotta find these pictures. I gotta show you. I gotta show you. Okay, here are my top photos that I took on my trip 2 weeks ago. The sun was shining against the other cliff as you look through the hole. The sun hit the other side of the cliff and there was a hole, and then the sun came through. I thought it was a pretty trippy picture. Then I like this one because it's pretty much South America. No, sorry, Africa or South America. Then I really like the one of us. I walked down the hill. This was a tour we did, 3-4 hour tour. And then another really cool picture I took is Derek Kay, the thorny guy. Logan Green, Derek Kay hanging out together. The spiky bastards. And then I think my favorite was taken in Bryce Canyon. I just put the photo camera on the floor and then reached down and hit click, looking upwards. Different coloration, different shades. Derek Kay, Logan Green. Good times. All right, where are we on? Almost 2 hours. Wow. Did I think that we would be here for 2 hours? By the way, let me just go here quickly. I am editing a video. Where is it? There it is. This is my editing software. I'm putting a video together of how Uber and Lyft are mistreating drivers in multiple countries. It's going to be about a 50-minute little mini documentary. Please watch it. Right? I'm going to be putting it on my various channels. This one here happens to be an interview in South Africa. This guy is working with the press. This is a driver. This is a union guy. Little story from South Africa. I'll have a story from India. I'll have a story from multiple countries in Europe. All over how Uber is impacting their lives, and not necessarily in the best of ways, right? So if you think we are pushing for change here in the United States, if you think that we are the only ones pushing for change here in the US, think again. They all have the same story to tell. Whether it's Australia, Europe, Africa, India, wherever you are, they're fighting the same battle as we are. So I wish my driver brothers and sisters tomorrow from our house in the UK, as you make your appearance in your suit as an Uber driver tomorrow in the highest court of the land in the United Kingdom, we're behind you. We're behind you. Push for better, push for good, push for the conditions that we deserve, right? And again, as you go into that arena, 48 hours, just remember one thing, psych yourself up. Right? You've got 2 days to impress the Supreme Court with all of your talking points. The way I do it is I say to myself, I'm getting into a 12-round boxing fight. Might be a long one. Might be very, very short if you're Mike Tyson. But at the end of the day, I want those boxing judges to rule in our favor. And when I say our favor, I'm talking about every gig worker out there, every single gig worker out there. It should be a unanimous decision by these boxing judges that we jabbed, we give them everything we can in those 12 rounds. Just like these 2 drivers did from 2016 to 2020, and that now ending up in Supreme Court. They have been out there fighting round after round after round. And guess what? They were not knocked out, right? They may have fallen, but they got back up before the count of 8. They got back up on their feet, and they kept on boxing. And I want the decision tomorrow to be unanimous. In fact, one person in this live feed said 90% chance of victory for the drivers, 10% chance victory for the companies. I want there to be a 100% unanimous decision on Wednesday in the Supreme Court of the UK in the favor of the winner by unanimous decision, drivers around the world, gig workers, and then you get to get your belt. You're going to hold your belt. We're going to hold up our belt loud and proud, my friends. Landmark case. And the winner is drivers, gig workers. And that's it. We had 2 hours. It was meant to be. My friends, have an amazing week. It's Monday. Go out there, right? Do what you got to do. Plan B, plan C, right? Whatever you have to do. If you have to get back into that car on August the 1st, right? You got to do it, right? But you always have the ability to stay safe. You always have the ability to make a good decision. You always have the ability to sanitize and protect yourself and your loved ones. And that is the direction we will all march together in, and we will celebrate. Trust me, when it's the 1st of January 2021 and we have a live stream and we through this, we're going to party like it's 1999, folks. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Dankeschön. Spasiba. Thank you. Merci. Laura, come and say hi. Say goodbye as I'm going out. Come over here. Say hello. Look at it. It says here, this is my quarantine shirt. That's her quarantine shirt. And wish them well.
Wish them well.
Good. All right, guys. Again, let's make prayers tomorrow for those 2 guys out there, because it's going to be big. It's going to be a big, big victory for the drivers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. And thank you, everyone in the other channel. I appreciate you. Man, this picture is so nice. Look at this, Laura. I mean,
wow.
Do you see that one?
Yeah.
That's the new computer with the. I really like that picture.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you, guys. Let's see how many viewable hours we got in that one. Thanks to the people that watched that. Thank you, guys.